Hey. Everybody ready to go? Come up to the mic. We don't have to swear anybody in tonight, I don't think.
No, but Angie had a family emergency, so I'm gonna write down who's making motions and seconds and the votes for her, because typically that's what she does on her software. So I may ask you guys to just repeat, just so I can take notes for her, right? Okay? Yeah.
Speaking.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, we all good? Does that sound good?
How many
All right.
times have you said that in the last year?
All right. Oh, yeah, everybody turn your phones down or off. Let me turn mine off because I haven't. All right. Call the meeting of the Town of Montreat's Board of Adjustment to order today, February 23rd, 2023 at 5 o'clock. Next order of business is a moment of silence. And the next order of business is determine whether we have a quorum. And I believe we do. So there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 board members and 1 alternate in attendance. Thank you, David, for being here. So we have a quorum to proceed with this meeting. The next order of the business is to approve the agenda for this meeting. Do I have a motion to approve tonight's agenda?
So moved.
Second. Agenda approved. All in favor? Well, so all in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Said that. Agenda is approved as written. All right, done that. So we will go on to the adoption of the October 27th.
Sorry, I didn't change this title. It's
Oh, wow.
January 26th, 2023.
January 26th.
So sorry.
22 meeting minutes. May I have a motion to approve those minutes?
So moved.
Second? Can I have a second? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion approved. All right, moving right along. We have an order of approval for the variance request. This was the written order for VA 2022-02. Let's see. Written order for approval of variance to grant a 0-foot rear setback on the property's north side for the construction of a single family dwelling on a property in the Town of Montreat's extraterrestrial jurisdiction, known as Lot 766, PIN number 072-111-4355-00000. So, and that was carried last time. So all we're doing tonight is to approve. There are no revisions to this order. So at this point, we make a motion to approve this variance.
So moved.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All against? Motion is approved.
Was that Danny made the motion, Martha, you second? Yeah, okay.
Sorry, you're good. Moving quickly. And having done that, so we have approved that motion. At this point, all we have now is new business. Does anybody have anything to discuss? Now's your time. Okay. All right.
To discuss
And anything you want to discuss?
related to the topic of the
So-
new business. Are we talking? about?
Kayla.
So new business is, just general topics, but be aware of open meeting laws and advertising. So I added, one item under new business to discuss the Board of Adjustment bylaws because we adopted them last meeting. And I know we didn't set aside time for any questions or anything like that. So I wanted to make sure that you guys had a space to ask any questions. And I did want to just bring one piece of the bylaws, one part of the bylaws to y'all's attention. So under section 1.4. So this is about alternate members. So this section states that alternate members shall attend all regular meetings and special meetings and shall be seated when regular meeting members are absent. So in my experience, alternate members are called in to fill seats on the board when regular members are unavailable. But what this is saying is that the alternates need to be in attendance at all the meetings, even if all the seats are filled, just in case someone doesn't show up, something like that. And so I just wanted to call that piece to y'all's attention, especially the alternates, and see if you guys are okay with that.
Can we make a revision to that?
Absolutely. So to make a revision, you guys can have discussion, but the revision will need to be in the form of a motion with a second and a vote.
Okay. I know in the past, I think we've always worked under the assumption that if you were an alternate, you did not have to be here. And I think we've all been pretty good about saying we're here or not going to be here and finding somebody to come in and fill in. I don't think anybody at this point has said, I'm going to be here and didn't show up. So I would like to amend that to not having to be in attendance. Does anybody have any discussion on that?
I agree, Ellie, that's.
Mark?
I read this and I looked at it and I was thinking, coming from my past, this had been appropriated at various board meetings that I've attended. One of the ideas that they had, just like you're in a regular job, these dates are known 12 months in advance. And people that work and have 12 months in advance, they typically say, well, I'm planning on going out of town this time, and they work it out between the reserves or the reliefs beforehand. And at least that takes care of the first part. And in the second part, they say that, well, if you are not going to be in attendance, you can ask somebody, a reserve, can you be available or whatever. That way it doesn't get all thrown on you. It's kind of self-policing.
Mm-hmm.
So that's two things. One, pre in advance that says, next year I got vacation or I'm going here, plus then a methodology to work it out between us. Now, I don't know what that methodology might be, but those are the two things of how we did it. Right.
It's always been a very simple thing to call someone or, just get them on the email and say, I'm not going to be able to make it. If we hadn't had any problems in the past with it, I'd really like to keep it that way. In addition, we're already having trouble having people be on the board. If we say, if you're going to be an alternate, you must be there, I think that will be a problem for getting new members.
And you thought I wasn't going to say anything. As the other alternate with Mark, I'm fine with that. I can work with that, as I think I told Mark last year when I was brought on as an alternate then. My plans will be, I will be at the meetings. I don't know of a reason I shouldn't be here, but if not, I will let the person or the chair, excuse me. I've forgotten your time. But
Okay,
anyway, I will
Zoning
let
administrator.
someone know
Right.
I'm not going to be here. Because
Right.
like to Mark's point, the calendar's out there. Friends, let us know if you're not going to be here.
Right. And I think we have to also, if that's a bylaw and then one of the alternates doesn't show up, do we have to not have the meeting?
No, I mean, we would hold the meeting based on the quorum.
Okay.
So no, if someone didn't show up, if that affected quorum, yes. But you guys are familiar now with me. We've had several meetings.
Right.
And I am pretty I mean, part of my job is being annoying.
No, I mean,
It's to reach out to you guys well ahead of time, let you know we have a case, who's gonna be there, who have we got, remind you several times. And I don't mind doing that. It's 2 seconds to pick the phone up. So
One more point.
But
It also
Chris-
means- it also means that we're not gonna have,
On the mic.
it also means that, we, there, I'm not saying there's ex-parte communication, but it's probably better that you do work, that we self-police ourselves, but you be the coordinating person. That way we're not necessarily
Yeah.
knowing each other. We might say, I'm out here, I'm out here.
well, and that wouldn't be, I mean, discussing a schedule wouldn't be ex parte communication, but I could see the concern about kind of cross, yeah. Even the perception of, so I mean, it's really up to you guys whether you want to require alternates to attend meetings, whether you don't. I mean, we did adopt the schedule, so everyone is aware of the dates. I believe we looked at ahead of time. We looked at Christmas, Thanksgiving, because I know there was some issue last year about a
Yeah.
conflicting date. So we solved that up front. So everybody should know the dates, and obviously things come up, of course.
Mhm.
It's life. So I'll leave it up to you guys, but I did just want to call that piece to your attention because it was something that I saw in the bylaws that I flagged for
Right.
myself.
So can we, if we finish discussing, can we have a motion to amend?
Can I
that
say,
part?
can I?
Oh, I'm sorry. Pardon me.
It just strikes me that some of these variance requests have spanned multiple months and multiple meetings. And I would speak in favor of the motion if we have a motion, but at the same time, I realize that learning that you have, that you lose when you're not able to be a meeting and then an alternate steps in and doesn't have that learning could have been avoided, that learning could have been increased over that period of time if the alternate had been there, especially for these long variance requests like the hotel or whatever. So that speaks in favor of everybody being there at every meeting, but I'm sure we could work that out, or we could see if there is a particular variance request that's going to be complicated, and maybe it would be wise but not to have it mandatory.
I think we were all pretty on point with the past two very convoluted cases that we had to deal with. I mean,
And
everybody
they are
knew.
recorded. They are recorded.
Right.
So if someone is coming in halfway through, I make sure that they have access to the recording, the previous packet. So they have all the materials. A member who would be coming in kind of halfway through has all the access to all of the materials. So and one other thing I just want to add is that we can change it now and we can change it back. It can also be
Sure.
informal, just we kind of agree as a group that, we're going to ask that everybody come, even if you are not voting, sitting on the board for that hearing. It's really however y'all want to do it. We can change it. We don't have to change it. We can change it now, change it again later. This is a living document.
Arrington, did you?
All we have to do is take out the first sentence.
Which would be,
Alternate members shall attend all regular meetings. Just take that out.
Or move shall to may.
If I may make a suggestion,
mhm.
I would recommend that the language be changed to all alternate members shall attend all regular meetings and special meetings as requested.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah,
That's
and
good.
shall be seated when regular members are absent.
Right. So that gives us leeway when we do have a big case
Yeah.
to look at.
Absolutely.
I think that's a good compromise. How does everybody else feel about that?
Yeah, and to your point, if somebody was sick, it's all of a sudden and you got a last minute thing. So you're gonna still have some last minute things,
Yeah.
but most of the stuff that should fix most of it.
So as requested.
And just as an observation, because I have no, I don't care which way it goes. I think either way is fine. But I've been on a number of boards and where there were alternates, and the alternates were always required to attend. So I'm just saying, and I think the reason was because exactly what y'all were talking about was that they would be up to date on everything and know what was going on. But you have got all of that information, and if people know in advance, then there's no reason for them to be here if they're willing to do their homework. So I'm just throwing that out there,
Unless somebody's sick.
unless somebody's sick, which is a totally different kind of
Totally different.
thing.
Yeah, I actually pulled out of my driveway to come to the meeting 3 years ago and ran over my dog.
Oh,
I missed the meeting
yeah,
and that was 10 till 5.
yeah.
Okay.
There are always emergencies, we know that. I'm just throwing that out.
Well, how do we feel about it? Do we have a motion or do we leave it as? Do we have a motion? Do we have a motion to change or
I-
to leave it
I-
as same?
I move the change that Kayla recommended.
Do we have a
I
second?
second it.
Restate the motion.
So it will, the first sentence of section 1.4 will change to read alternate members shall attend all regular meetings and special meetings as requested. And ...
So that's the motion.
Just add as requested.
I second.
All right, so all in favor,
Aye.
all opposed? Motion's carried. Is there any other discussion? I will stop at this moment and ask one other or talk about some more new business real quickly.
Before that, I would ask that somebody make a motion to readopt the bylaws as revised.
I
So
move that we readopt the bylaws as revised.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion's carried.
Thank you.
Since we unfortunately have lost Robert Solaski as board member, does anyone, well, first of all, the question is, how do we get a new board member? Do we extend an invitation?
Yeah, so this is an appointed board. So the Board of Commissioners would be the entity to appoint the board members. The Board of Commissioners is aware of the ongoing vacancy with the ETJ seat, and now they are aware of Robert's vacating the regular seat. So they are working to identify people, communicate with
Okay.
them, but if and this goes for, you know, anyone listening as well. If there's any interest, if anyone knows of anybody who would be interested, just reach out to anyone on the Board of Commissioners, the mayor, and share that information with them.
And wasn't it just in the Montreat Minute that there was a vacancy on the,
Commissioner Widmer puts the ongoing vacancies for all the boards in there,
Mhm.
and I've let him know to add in that we have a regular seat vacant.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right. And so if we do know of someone, we just have them contact the Board of Commissioners.
Yeah.
All right. Any other new business?
Well, I just wanted to know, is there a formal way that we show appreciation for his service?
Thank you, Robert.
Yeah,
Here.
I would contact the mayor and see if, because I believe that would come from the Board of Commissioners, like a recognition of appreciation. I would reach out to Mayor Helms or Ben, the town manager.
Okay. Does anybody else have any other new business that they would like to discuss? No new business? Well, then that is the final agenda for tonight's meeting. Do I have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second? All in favor?
Aye.
Move to adjourn tonight's meeting.